So I'll go back to you, Jeremy. We have heard about gallium PSMA scan. Are there any other PSMA based scans out there? And what our colleagues in the community should be looking at? What kind of PSMA scans may be available to them in the near future, in the next 1 year or so?
Yes, sure. So PSMA PET is can be understood as a class of imaging agent or a whole imaging technique that encompasses multiple different PSMA targeted PET tracers. You can do that with gallium-68 PSMA-11. You can do that with gallium-68 PSMA-INT. You can do that with F18 DCF-PYL, who is now FDA approved, available commercially under the name of Pylarify. You can do that with RH PSMA 7.3. You have an enormous amount of different PET tracers targeting PSMA. All the ones that are pretty advanced in their clinical development are all performing very well. You still image this very high overexpression of protein in prostate cancer. You still get these impressive contrasted images. And so as long as you get a PSMA PET scan, it doesn't really matter if it's gallium-68 PSMA-11 or DCF-PYL or even others that are coming down the road. As long as your patient is getting some PSMA target assessment, with PET imaging, you're in the right spot. It is different than with, for example, Prostacint that was using the PSMA as a target as well, but using antibodies and the internal parts of the protein. So it was different. Here is if you do the external parts and you're using this PET imaging agent, you're in the right spot. Many others are coming. I think I will speak to the ones that are already approved. So gallium-68 PSMA-11 was the first one approved, manufactured at UCLA and UCSF, approved by the FDA. Then followed 6 months later in May 2021, the DCF-PYL, owned by now Progenics, then Lantheus, and this is Pylarify. Blue Earth is finishing their phase 3 study, and I'm sure they will run for an NDA pretty soon, maybe in the next year or so, something like that. Telix is still waiting for their final NDA approval, but I'm sure this will come in the next month or again in this type of time frame. Telix has a kit. It is also gallium-68 PSMA-11, so the same imaging agent that was produced at UCLA and UCSF. Just the way you produce it, the way you do the labeling, is different. It is a kit, so it allows multiple sites to do this manufacturing process, and that's what they are looking for in terms of FDA approval. So this is coming as well. And so at the end, what does it mean? It means that it will be widely and commercially available for almost anyone in the US within maybe 1 or 2 years for sure, once the development and distribution network will be correctly set up. Another thing to put on the table here, as you said, whether it should replace or not other imaging modality, the NCCN guideline version 2022 that were just out in September, October this year, now has approved gallium PSMA PET, either DCF-PYL or gallium-68 PSMA-11 for initial staging, for recurrence, also for restaging castrate-resistant prostate cancer. And they say that you don't have a prerequisite negative CT on bone scan to do the scan. You can benefit from it upfront, replacing the other imaging modality up to now. And last step, Medicare has granted us with the CPH's code in October. So basically, gallium-68 PSMA-11 is now covered by Medicare since October 1st. And will cover as well DCF-PYL on January 1st, 2022. So you have approval of FDA, you have big industry vendors for commercialization and distribution network, NCCN guidelines, and now insurance coverage. So it will be widely available, and this question of availability will not be something left on the table to not do it. So as we've seen here at UCLA, where we were providing a lot of these scans, a very rapid uptake from all the urologists, medical oncologists, radiation oncologists that quickly changed their practice within a year, just relying on PSMA PET for every prostate cancer patients they have. That's basically what we observe here at UCLA. And I'm assuming this will happen the same in the US within the next 1-2 years.